Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to yet another season of the Inimitable Podcast. If you are here, it's because you needed to be here. We, this season, are going to be talking about turning the page, the journey of exiting one season, entering into another one, because the story truly does continue. You know, semicolon, not a period. So let's find out what's on the other side of this pain, of the trauma, of being locked up, all of this thing. Stay tuned. We have a lot of great conversations that are coming up. So I hope that whatever is said, it resonates with you. Sit with this information, watch the replays, go back and watch other episodes because there's some good stuff that's being said. And I'm not just saying that because this is my podcast. I'm saying that because it is true. All right, guys, I will see you in a little bit. Bye. And we're back. Listen, those intros, I be working on them things.
I love it. I'm not just saying it because it's my podcast, but you can. I
mean, yeah, if you got to toot your own horn, doggone it, too. Because, yeah. Anyways, hey,
hello,
guys. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. The face you see with me, she is no stranger to the podcast. She's no stranger to the podcast world in general because we have co-hosted a lovely podcast for about 2 seasons.
Yes.
Miss talking with her, you know.
Oh, I miss you so much.
Circle that thing back real soon.
In
the meantime, I have my good sis, my friend, my colleague, all the things. She's everything. Okay. All the things. It's Stephanie, aka Lilac. Welcome back.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Just honored to be in this space with you. I know this conversation is going to be banging.
Yes. Now let's talk about it because we are both clinicians. We are both in the mental health field. She works with mindfulness, which is necessary. You know, I have a teenage client and she's like, I hate that mindfulness stuff. I said, girl, what do you think healing looks like?
Hello.
But you know, teenagers are teenagers. Anywho.
Right. You hate awareness.
Because you need it. You can't operate in this world without being aware of how you interact with the world, the energy you give off, all the things. But you know, we talk about healing from a place of not just like as clinicians, but as people. Okay, because we all have our own healing journey, and there's stages to this thing, and we don't talk about that. We just kind of go in hopes that I can be healed and behaviors can change and all the things. And it's like, yeah, but there's so much more. So we're going to be talking from both a professional side, but then also a human, this is real life side, because it's a lot.
It's a lot. And you know what? Like hashtag bring humanity back to clinicians, you know, and that's not from clinicians. That's from people. When they realize that we're clinicians, we're therapists, we're counselors, the humanity is removed. We are robots. How may I serve you? How may I diagnose you? DSM-5, all of that, right?
Yeah.
And not realizing that, like, just take you and I. We have these real human conversations. We're not talking about case notes and clients. We're talking about us. And if you are a therapist, a counselor, or anyone who's working in the mental health field and you are not doing the work on yourself, it's not just that you're a hypocrite, you're actually a hindrance to the people you claim to be helping, right? So I want to just say that real quick. All shots fired. We have to do the work on ourselves. Get around people who will help you do the work. The stages of healing spawned from a conversation that we were having, a personal conversation we were having. Again, not about work, not about our caseloads, not about all this other stuff. It came from a personal place. And I think people need to know that we are human and we have human emotions. We're helping you deal with yours, but we also have to manage our own.
Yeah. And it doesn't make us any less of a professional. Because I have heard so many people say, why would I want to go to a therapist that has a therapist? It's like, you go to a doctor who has a doctor. You go to a dentist that has a dentist. You go to all of these other things that have it. And it's like, in order for me to do my job effectively without gaslighting, without doing all of those things like projecting and countertransference and all of those things, I need my own clinician because
What are we talking about? Like, what? Why would having a clinician be any different than what you're saying exactly? You wouldn't go to a doctor who doesn't go to a doctor themselves. You wouldn't. It just doesn't make sense. But when it comes to our profession, people are like, oh, I don't want someone who has a therapist. You should want someone who has a therapist, because that means we're doing the work, so we can help you do the work. Right. Like that brings in those stages.
Like I said this to my one client, because she's into like cosmetology and stuff. I said, if you went into a hair salon and your hairstylist's hair looked toe up from the flow up, would you sit in the chair? She was like, I absolutely would not. And I said, okay, so would you want to sit across from a clinician who doesn't have their stuff together? I think you want to, you know? And so like what Steph was saying, like we've had this conversation about, you know, the beauties and the ugly side of healing. And one of them was when you're healing and you get to this anger stage and you're just like, ooh, I didn't know this was a part of it. So Steph, talk about the angry stage of healing, because it's very much real. It is very much a part of it. And just like how the anger stage is in grief, it can come and go and it can circle back. And then you're like, oh, why am I so angry? So let's talk about that.
Yeah, like that's real. You know, the stages of healing is very comparable to the stages of grief. Like they're almost, you know, you can just run them down the same way. Now, I did Google the stages of healing, like when we first had the conversation, and it was talking about healing from a physical issue or physical ailment, or like if your wrist broke or if you have a burn and things like that, but not from the perspective of mental healing. So when we're talking about grief or anger and all that stuff and how we deal with that when we heal through it, when you start to heal, you are so angry. When you stop numbing yourself, when you allow yourself to feel, right? You can't heal unless you feel.
Right.
When you allow yourself to feel, the anger that rises up is almost scary. Yeah. You're angry at yourself for not doing the work quick enough or just allowing yourself to be in a situation. You're angry at others who benefited from your brokenness. And you're angry at those who put you in there, who put you in that situation. That anger, if you don't control that anger, I mean, you're liable to do anything. Like you're liable to hurt somebody, literally go off on somebody, road rage, all that. So just being aware and careful. And again, we're the clinicians who walk this first. So we're trying to give the warnings like, hey, when you really heal, you're going to be very upset. And we talked about that. The rage that was just rising up in us. Like, I'm like, wait, is this healing? Like, is it? Yes, this is the stage of healing. The anger, like I'm so angry because why was I put in this situation? Why did you allow me to stay in this situation? You saw I was broken. You saw I wasn't, on my game, and you wanted me to still be in that place because again, you benefited from it. You got something from it. I had no boundaries. Someone with no boundaries, I'll say yes to everything. People exploit you when you're, not doing your healing journey. So it's just interesting to see how angry you get. Like you can feel it. You feel your body like vibrating with anger when you think about it.
Yes.
And what you said, I'm landing this plane really quick. And what you said was like, you can circle back around. And it's true. We can't, just like with the stages of grief, we cannot rush through the stages of healing and this mental healing. And as long as it takes to process it, to get it out, we need to do that. And the problem usually comes when we try to press the gas and speed through it and just try to move on. That thing always circles back around.
This is so good because, in our own conversation, I was explaining to Steph, I said, girl, the level of irritability that I carry, and it really does make you look not just at yourself differently, but at the people around you. Like y'all saw me wholeheartedly bleeding on both sides, limping, hurting, crying, crashing out a whole lot, and y'all were just like, "It's okay."
They loved it. They loved it.
Got it. I said, "Wait a minute," and then that part about how people benefit from your brokenness and benefit from your poor boundaries and benefit from all of the things that you have, you're really like, y'all are disgusting to me, respectfully or not respectfully, I don't know. But this is crazy. Like, y'all literally saw me at my broken side, and you know I am living underneath my potential, but y'all said, I mean, but I still get some things from it. I still benefit from it. So, I mean, all right. If she don't say nothing, then I guess it's okay. Because, you know, she would have to place the boundary and she would have to do the things. And,
Right.
you know, silence, I guess, is an answer to say, I am okay with it. It's like a form of agreement that I never said, but I guess my silence said that for you or communicated that to you.
Correct. And that it's so sad how many people are in situations like that, where they're considering people to be friends or even family members, church members, whoever, your coworkers, whoever is like in your circle. And they know that your boundaries are down and broken. They know that the moat is not there. No alligators are in there. They know that the gate is wide open.
Yeah.
And instead of them saying, let me not push through this wide open door. Let me see what's going on. Why is the door so open? Why is it off the hinges? I can't even close. You know, the person can't even close it. You say, let me step in here and let me loot this house. Let me step in and let me steal. Let me take. Let me see what I can take from this house. Not what I can give. Not let me try to help you put the door back on the hinges so you can have good boundaries. But let me loot. Let me step in here and take and see what I can do to benefit myself. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. In this season of my life, and the older I get, the closer I inch to 40, right? This is my 38th year. I'm 2 years away. The closer I get, the more I realize who I want in my circle. If you're not able to hold me accountable, if you're not able to help me put the door back on the hinges, I don't want to be around you and I don't want you in my circle. Because now you're a danger and a detriment to me. Because you'll steal. When I'm at my lowest, you'll steal and you'll take from me. When I have nothing to give, you're taking from me. And it's like, that's where the anger comes in.
That is so, Steph, ma'am, this is why you're here. This is so good because you're right. It's like they show off. They come with this perception of, no, I want to see you better. I want to see you healed. I'm here for you and I'm rooting for you. And it's like, if you're rooting for me, you would not let me stay here. I say this all the time, right? People ask me, Jermaine, how are you so successful? Jermaine, how did you make it through all of those things? I said, I had people that held me accountable every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? And because I can make an excuse. Listen, all of this intellect that I got, I can come easily up with excuses. I can come up with reasons as to why I can or cannot do something. But I had some accountability people that I did not ask for, but I got that said, no, you need to get up. And it's like, yeah, wipe your tears, lick your wounds, if you will, but don't stay there. Do not stay there. But then on the other end, you had people that are like, I understand, Jermaine, like life is so hard and you're overcoming a lot. Take your time and do all of these things. And I'm thinking they're coming from a place of compassion and empathy and care. But I'm like, no, that's selfish. Y'all love me here because here you get what you want. Here you get to have a part of me that I think you need instead of being and unlocking my potential and being her. Because I realized when I start to unlock, or when I did unlock my potential and purpose and I started walking in it, so many people walked away. So many people, I can't go with her because now we no longer align. Now we're no longer running parallels.
Girl. And you realize how many people you trauma bonded with. I mean, you trauma, but the list was so long. And then when you start to heal, those you trauma bonded with, if they're not also stepping into that healing journey, then what do we have to talk about anymore? We're not male bashing anymore. We're not parent bashing anymore. We're not church bashing anymore. We're not self bashing anymore. Yeah. What do we have to talk about? We have nothing to talk about. And when we learn the word no, a lot of people fall off, and that in itself brings anger. Because why are you leaving me? You're so vulnerable in a healing place. Why are you leaving me in my most vulnerable state? when I need you. You could stick around when I didn't say no. Again, the door was wide open. I was a yes person. I was a people pleaser. You stuck around. As soon as I started saying no, it's like people are like, I just, yeah, because the tap is run dry. Nothing else to give. And it also brings us to the point of that denial, right? Where we're like, no, these people wouldn't, Jermaine, these people wouldn't do that. No,
not
this
them.
is my,
not that title person. No.
This is my cousin. This is my bishop. This is my sister. This is my friend that I've known since second grade. This is my play auntie. This is not them. Yes, them. Especially them.
Especially them. Yeah.
Especially them.
It is
they do it.
It is it's like a mind shattering, sometimes feels like world shattering, that the people that you have maybe idolized or maybe have these high expectations for, or even just felt so closely connected and bonded with, it's like, y'all were the main culprit. What? Like, either you introduced this thing into my life or you cultivated it once you saw that it existed in my life. And I cannot, it's like, I can't wrap my around, I can't conceptualize it. I can't logically consider that you have been a part of my demise, or you have been a part of the reason why I have been in this mental imprisonment in my own body. And it's like, it should not be you. My client said this one thing, and I told her, I was like, I'm gonna give you the credit first 3 times. So this is free. After that, it's mine.
It's yours.
If you're looking in a drawer full of knives, you're not shocked that another knife gets put in there. No. But if you have this beautiful cake that on the inside, it looks so moist, on the outside, it's decorated lovely, you bite into it and you find a knife, the level of disappointment and frustration, it's not supposed to be in there. And sometimes the people that we have put in these high esteemed places are the cake with the knife in it. And it's like, not you. I can expect this from dude over there because he's very manipulative, or homegirl over here because she has a lot of insecurities, but not you. That is a level of not just like denial, but also disappointment that you were a part of the reason why I stayed in prison this whole time.
This whole time, like, you had the keys and you were locking my cell. Every time I found another set of keys and I was unlocking it. We're trying to get out. You mean you had another set of keys and you were sliding the door closed and relocking it? Not you. Not you. And I love that visualization about the cake. I'm biting into this nice piece of cake and I feel something cutting me. Why? That shouldn't be there. It should just be moist. It should be nice, sweet. That shouldn't be there. And we gave these people such high regard in our lives. And they were contributing to our demise. Not you. Anyone else, but not you. And so that's where it comes in, where it's like, that's what I mentioned earlier about when you stop numbing yourself, when you stop disassociating, when you say, I'm going to stay present, this is mindfulness. This is why people don't really care for it. It makes you stay present and it makes you stay aware.
It does.
That I have to now, girl, I have to feel all my feelings. Get away from me. I mean, I have to feel that hurt of that betrayal. I have to feel the anger that I've been pushing down and suppressing and locking up all this time. I have to now feel that. What are you talking about? That's why that awareness is key, because now I'm aware of what you're doing and I'm in pain, and that pain translates into anger. I shouldn't be feeling this level of pain. Life happens. The Bible says it, life's, right?
It sure does. Yeah.
But there's some pain we don't have to feel, and there's some things that happen that we don't have to experience. But people.
Correct.
And then you feel it and you are angry, and then you use that anger as a stepping stone to reach your next level. I've been really looking into transmuting energy. This is not some wild guru thing. It is, I'm taking my anger and I'm turning it into awareness, and then I'm going to turn it into action, and I'm moving on. I'm going to move on from it, right? It's not a quick process. Don't make it, just because I said it quick. You feel your anger, and then you're like, all right, cool. What can I do with this energy? It has to go somewhere. I don't want it to go into my knee. I don't want it to go into my neck. I don't want it to go into my elbow. I don't want it to come out in my words and my actions. I don't even want to have a maladaptive, coping mechanism. I don't want to be drinking and smoking or laying with a bunch of people. I want to get this energy out, and I want to actually use it to better my life.
Right.
And that's where that's where I'm trying to go on the other side of healing. Like, I feel this stage in the stage of healing. Now I'm taking this stage, and now we need to move on from here, because we could sit in our anger all day. We could be angry. And sometimes I want to.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But it's just not beneficial. It's not.
I have, so in all of these studies that I'm doing, I'm learning more about the somatic side of trauma.
Oh.
And, not only, especially as Black women, right? We learn how to dissociate often because that's how we need to survive. We often have to step out of our bodies to be like, all right, logically, we have to do this. We have to keep going, right? So not only are we unsafe in our bodies, emotions then become unsafe. I don't know how to sit in an emotion. I don't know how to feel it from beginning to end because I never was allowed to. I know I was angry? Sure. Did I know that anger started as disappointment and then frustration? And then because those didn't get taken care of, then it turned into anger. I can recognize that, but I don't recognize disappointment and frustration and fear. And I don't know what those feel like because emotions aren't safe. And so therefore I have to push them off. So when you start healing and your job is to literally sit in it, like this equanimity thing, I've learned how mindful equanimity is, because what it does is it's like you have to learn how to sit, manage, and cope with heavy emotions. And when you've never done it, it feels so unsafe, right?
It's so unsafe.
Healing is the ability to find safety again in your body, with the emotions, with the thoughts, and not feeling like I have to react. I have to distract. I have to avoid. I have to numb. I have to do all of these things. And it is like the most, I think sometimes it is one of the most difficult parts of returning to self, like returning home to your body. Of, I need to sit with this because I've never done it before. And I'm going to be more angry and more irritable and more frustrating. But if I don't learn how to sit with this, I'm just going to continue it, because the suppressing thing you talked about, we do it well.
No, so well.
Yeah, I'm pissed, but like I still got 5 hours of work to do. So we're just going to push it down. And then we wonder why we're yelling at the husband and kids, because what I didn't handle 5 hours ago is now coming up when I walk through the door. And it's like, we don't realize we can suppress as often as we want to. That thing's going to pop up at the most unopportune time.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
We're going to take it out on the wrong person. And we have to learn how to sit and find safety again in our bodies and in emotions.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, and that's all leading us up into the stages. During the pandemic, I really started looking at somatic healing, right? And I'm glad that you mentioned, especially Black women, right? Happy Women's Month. Ow! So we know how to hold that trauma in our bodies.
Yeah.
And, when you're talking about you feel angry and upset at work, and then 5 hours later, you don't do anything. While you're yelling at your family, you're also feeling the pain in your back and your ankles are hurting. Yeah, that wrist, you feel a little twinge of pain.
Yeah.
And what I realized, and something I really do is I open up with my clients, we do like a body scan, a body check, and we push energy and move it around. And I want you to take note of what you're feeling. Some people hold their trauma on their hips. Some people hold it on their shoulders, their chest, neck, right? That, when your eye starts twitching and all that stress, you start feeling all that. You have the pressure headaches and the migraines. All of that means that we have not allowed the energy to process properly. And this is what I say, sis. Feelings are like jealous lovers. They pop up when we don't want them to. If we ignore a jealous lover, if we don't give them the proper attention, they'll pop up in places, you said it, an inopportune time. I don't want to be sitting in my car in traffic crying right now, but here I am because I didn't process this. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be operating like this. I don't want this to make me feel a certain way. I don't want to be triggered here, triggered there. But this wasn't processed because I said, nope, this is not the time for me to experience this. So what I say and what I've done, even if I'm not ready to talk about something, I acknowledge the feeling. I don't ignore it. You know what? I'm feeling this way. I'm going to talk about it or process it a little later. I'm going to call my girl. I'm going to talk to my sis. I'm going to do it a little later, but I'm going to acknowledge it. Hey, I acknowledge it. I see you. Like, I'm just basically saying, please don't cut up. I see you. I acknowledge you. I recognize your presence. I know we need to discuss this. I'm not going to suppress you and put you down. Please just wait in the corner until I'm ready to interact with you. Please do not come out before I'm ready. And that's what we have to do. And sitting in our bodies and feeling safe enough to return to our bodies, that's something that we usually don't do or feel. No. Our bodies are not even safe for us to feel in. You ever heard of post-traumatic slave syndrome?
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of the disassociation comes from, that we had to remove our minds from our bodies to endure. I am grateful for the ancestors who did that because that allowed us to be here. I am grateful that they had to put themselves through that. And now we're here doing a full circle saying we don't have to do that anymore. It's safe. We can land here in our bodies. It's safe to come back and to feel what we feel and not have to be afraid that we're just going to be so overwhelmed. Like, we can safely navigate those emotions instead of being overtaken by those waves.
Yeah. So this lovely board above my head, the first three words on it is give yourself permission.
My.
Those 3 words have literally was the start of my healing journey, because what we don't realize is no one is going to give us permission to do what we need to do outside of self, right?
Nobody.
Because like we were saying, sometimes it's the people that we are finding those knives in the cake, and you're just like, oh, okay, so you're part of the problem. Okay, all right. And when you start to give yourself permission, you give yourself permission to heal, you give yourself permission to find this safety again in your body, you give yourself permission to be mad, you give yourself permission to be frustrated, you give yourself permission to be disappointed, because all of these are a part of the stages of healing. And, you know, oftentimes, especially as Black people, but as women, as people in general, we are told what we can and cannot do 24/7. Don't do this. Don't cry. Good man, do this. Be better. Don't sit in. And it's like, first of all, again, humanity is what we are missing in this world.
Come on now.
Today. We are human. We are not robots, although people think we are AI generated. We are people. We have humans. We have thoughts. We have fears. We have insecurities. We have problems. We have it. And when you are told consistently what you cannot do, I think the first part of unlocking your healing journey is saying, I give myself permission to, because I need to be allowed to be in my humanity. And, you know, we talked about this on, I think, the Strong Ones episode that we did on your podcast, about how people will over spiritualize and demonize our human existence. And it's like, I'm sorry, hold on. In the large scheme of things, God did not have to wrap himself in flesh at all. He could have stayed right where he was. He
in
wrapped
glory
in flesh, because he said, since I know people are creatures of companionship and connectedness, they won't only believe and serve a God they cannot see. They need to understand that there is someone who looked like me, walked like me, hurt like me, yet he still made it, and now he's in glory right now. He understood that humans need human leadership and human examples in order to feel like they can do it, in order to feel like I am capable of doing X, Y, and Z. So God himself wrapped himself in flesh, came down here and said, I hurt like you, I feel like you. Jesus was the example. They said that he was tempted on all sides, yet without sin, right? Which
That's right.
means he grieved like us. He angered like us. He was depressed like us. He had all of these,
Everything.
which means emotions aren't sins, people.
Come
Because
on.
Jesus felt it, yet he had no sin.
Come
That means
on.
they're not sin.
Come on. Come on.
I just
Exactly. Come on, preacher. Let's talk about it, because some people do act like our feelings and emotions are sinful,
they do.
and they're not. We're human. We're supposed now. Do some people overfeel? Of course. Do we have to regulate? Of course. Sure. But we are not supposed to be just ignoring these feelings, ignoring these emotions, because, right, we have the example from the Messiah. He cried. His best friend died. He cried. He wept. He was sad. He cracked the whip when they were, misusing his dad's house. He made that whip. He made that whip in anger. He didn't make it smiling, jolly. He was like, let me made the whip, tucked it under his little cloak, and get out. These are feelings, these are emotions like that we need to process and feel. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I think too, having that acknowledgement and that permission, we have to give ourselves permission. You're right. No one else can give us permission. Actually, we have to start undoing and unlearning the people who told us that we couldn't do something or that it wasn't okay. And that even speaks to how a lot of our men are raised to be a man, right? Like he was like, be a man, be strong.
Yeah.
Punching them in the chest and all that. That's not, because I always recognize that on the flip side that we're doing this, we're telling our little boys and young men to be strong, be grown up, don't feel. And then when we get older, we're like, you have no emotional intelligence.
Come on.
You don't feel anything. Well, we train them as a society.
Yes.
On and off the battlefield, we train men to be soldiers, and we really shouldn't be doing that. Now, we're not saying that they have to be overly emotional, but you should be able to safely feel your feelings, process them, so you're not abusing anyone. You're not bubbling up with anger and taking it out and getting arrested and getting this and doing that. Like, all of this matters and counts, and we have to destigmatize that emotions and feelings are sinful, and that we have broken some moral code, or that we have neglected our Christian or whatever religion we're in duties, that we have somehow sinned by feeling. Nah. And anyone who makes you feel sinful for feeling does not have your best interest at heart. And I'm saying that straight up. They don't have your best interest at heart. They want you to be numb. They want you not to feel. Again, look at who's taking advantage of you. Look who has benefited from your numbness, from your disassociation. Who? From your bad boundaries. Look who's benefited from that. Look who's really partaking in that. And then when we step on the stages of healing is a journey. It's a path we walk on. When you step your foot on that stage, then it's like, oh, okay, well, no one's around anymore because I'm just not so open. Yeah. And it's like, I'm feeling angry right now thinking about it. Like,
Yeah, because that's a part of it. The grieving stage of healing is so heavy because you are grieving old patterns and lifestyles and dreams and aspirations because you're like, it's a difficult thing to realize. Everything that I wanted, everything that I was operating from stemmed from trauma. That post-traumatic slave syndrome, it is so big for our community to understand that I'm striving because I'm trying to outrun poverty or outrun intergenerational trauma or outrun these family narratives and genetic pains. Like I'm trying to outrun them. So essentially, my dreams and aspirations are seeped in trauma, which meant I never really quite had a choice. I was just following in the system that was created for me. And now healing, I say this all the time to my clients, healing provides choice.
Yeah.
Now I can choose, who do I want to be? What do I want to identify with? And a part of that grieving is I now have to develop a new identity because this old identity was, it's what kept me bound to the trauma. It's what kept me bound to the patterns. It's what kept me bound to my environment, not just the people, but I identified with who I was. And we are grieving whole identities.
My goodness.
Healing, because, we say like we're getting closer to 40. I have a lot of clients that are in the 30, 40 realm, and they're like, I'm too old to start over. I said, baby, you are not. Now is the time, because you have choice now. Before, you didn't. You fell into what you were supposed to do, but now you have choice. So let's start the grieving process, because it is a part of the healing journey.
It's true. And most people don't even want to navigate the stages of healing because of that loss of identity. Yeah. If you are 52 and you have built your whole identity on trauma, maybe unforgiveness, maybe hurt, shame, guilt, add in whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And now your clinician has the audacity to suggest that you let that identity go and relearn who you're actually supposed to be without all the stuff that's clouding and all the haze of trauma. Yeah. How dare you? Right. How dare you ask anyone to do that? But most people don't want to step on that path because it's not just pain, it's inconvenience. I have to shed this identity that I built up, whether usually it's not good, usually it's a poor identity, but it's ours, so we claim it. You mean I have to let go of this identity that I built up and then meet a stranger? You want me to meet a stranger and introduce myself to a stranger and have to learn a stranger? I'm not doing this. It's taking too much. And people say I'm too old. I'm too old for this. No, you're too old not to do it. You're too old not to do it. And most people will avoid even stepping on the path, even getting the help, even talking about it. Will get belligerent when you mention the word healing because your identity is fighting. Your old identity is fighting you, and it knows it's time to go. And that thing will fight you. It will fight to hold on. It will fight to the death. Because no, don't let me go. No. But we have to. What I realize is when we're releasing our identities, we need to do so in peace. That I speak to that identity. I thank you for what you gave me. I thank you for protecting me. I thank you. But now it's time for you to go. I don't just rip it out because that's when something starts fighting. Yeah. I want to convince this identity that it actually is time for you to go. And here's why. That's good. And we welcome the new identity. And we do it in peace. And I think that makes the navigation a little bit easier. That I don't have to now fight with this identity and try to welcome this new one in. No, I let this one go in peace. Thank you for the years you served me. I appreciate you. But it's time for you to go in peace, and we're welcoming someone else in. And when you get to that point of the navigation, you're like, all right, cool. It's not so scary. It's not so daunting because I have acknowledged my old identity. I have thanked it. I have shown it gratitude. Thank you for what you did for me. But I no longer need you, and you no longer serve me. So I'm ready to let you go ahead, and then I can welcome my new identity. It's like a ceremony, And when we do it like that, it's beautiful and sweet.
Yeah, that's so good. I was asked to have a conversation about what happens when you step into Christ and you're trying to do this new walk. And what I wish I said it as eloquently as you did.
No.
What I basically was saying is that God is not going to rip the thing out of you and then leave you with the biggest void you probably have ever felt, and then be like, but it's okay because we're going to fill it with all the right things and we're going to do all the right stuff. And it's as if the pain doesn't exist. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Right. Like, I love the Apostle Peter. Like, Peter is my guy. Okay. Me and Peter, I feel like if I were a disciple back in, I would have been Peter, because Peter is very active, always saying something. And it's like, but he rides hard for God, Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was who Peter was. But when Simon was becoming Peter, the amount of grace that Jesus offered him, because he's like, this guy, like, stop it. Just like, he had to get rebuked a few times and had to be told
He
about
did.
it a
He
few
did.
times, because it's like, and even when he wasn't reflective of Peter, Jesus made that known. He said, Simon, right? He didn't
Look,
call him Peter. He was letting that Simon that was still in him know, you're not what's running here. Peter needs to show up. So I'm going to it was as if Jesus was letting him know, this is who Peter is, and this is who Simon is, right? Everything about Simon didn't go away. He was just, it was like, when he said, I'm going to make you fishers of men, he took his knowledge and awareness as fisherman and said, you're going to use that, but now we're going to use it over here. The same thing with Saul turning Paul, right? All of this integrity, everything that you have, I'm going to leave it, but it's going to be used for something different. And what you said about we have to unlearn to learn, it's the same essence. Like, I have a lot of clients that are like, so you mean I have to do everything new? Not necessarily. I just think this integrity that you have and this assertiveness that you have, you're probably using it in the wrong way. Use it. It's useful. We just got to find a different purpose for it, right? And again, that's a part of the healing. And so it does make grief a little bit more easier, because you're not doing the ripping and the purging. And it's like, okay, all right. Like, sure, that's an option. I don't know if that's the best option, but it is an option. But
it
also,
is.
You can, and that's why I love therapy, because it allows you that room of error, that those places of, yo, I messed up. My clients come to me like, Jermaine, you're gonna be so disappointed. I said, girl, no, ma'am. Trust, I understand that when you're building new habits, you're not perfect with them. You're gonna make errors, you're gonna fault, you're gonna flaw. But what you're doing is you're resisting your old patterns. That's the thing. The resistance, the great resistance, right?
Resistance.
You need it, because that's your body's way of saying, okay, so I know this is what we used to do, and I know you're trying to do something different, but like you were saying, the convenience of the old thing, I don't want to leave it. It's comfortable there. It was
come on now.
Great. But you're asking me to be uncomfortable and inconvenience myself just to be something new, and a lot of people hate being inconvenienced.
I mean, just in general, right? The mind will try to comfort us when we go through an accident. It will black out, or we'll start to feel our adrenaline so we don't feel the pain. Our lives are built around comfort. Innately, it is born into us that if I'm feeling pain, if you're feeling pain, what can I do to make her not feel any more pain? What can I do? What do I have to do? You know what I mean? We live a life of comfortability. And how can I make myself feel more comfortable? I don't want to feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But the stages of healing is full of uncomfortability. And it's in that uncomfortability that we actually begin to heal the best. It's like, the phoenix rising from the ashes. That thing has to blow up, explode, burn up, and then be reborn from the ashes. That's painful. That hurts. How uncomfortable is that? But then you have this beautiful new thing that's being born. But most of us don't want to experience temporary discomfort for eternal comfort or eternal healing. Most people will say, I would rather stay in this extremely comfortable place, even though the comfort is killing me, sis. Even though the comfort is ending my life. I would rather stay here than take the few steps. And it's no easy process. Then I would rather stay here than get on the process and just get in the groove of healing. And not just for us, because when you do the stages of healing, you are not just benefiting yourself, you're benefiting the generations to come.
That's good.
Okay. And it's not even if you have children or not. It's your family, it's your little cousins, it's everyone around you.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you work with youth, you are influencing them, you're talking to them, you are with them, that's your progeny, you know what I mean? That's who you're pouring into.
Yeah.
When you are navigating the stages of healing, when you are boldly and courageously walking on that path, you are therefore teaching them to do the same. That they can't say, "Oh, well, she didn't do it. I did actually." And it circles back around to just what you were saying about Christ coming down, wrapped up in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
He had the same feelings, same emotions, same things that we deal with. Mm-hmm. So we can't say, you don't know what it feels like. I do, actually. Funny you should say that. Because I bled and I sweat. Yeah. And I did all that just like you. Mm-hmm. I was tempted just like you. I was tempted by the ultimate tempter. You know what I mean? Don't get me started, because we say a lot of stuff, but it's like he went through, he experienced, and he endured. Mm-hmm. And we are to do the same. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Maybe not in that same capacity, but we are to have that as a living example that, hey, we can push forward. We can get through this, because the healing on the other side, it's not just for us. Healing is selfless. Staying in trauma is selfish. You know what I'm saying? So, hey.
You cut with that one. That was a, yep. Mm-hmm. I agree. So I take a lot of influence from nature, because, you know, we love nature. We love animals. Yeah. And there's these 2 or maybe 3 examples that I always reference when it comes to the pains of healing. One of them, I seen this video of a reindeer bashing its head against a log because it was taking the antlers off, because that's the only way. They don't naturally fall off. He has to break them off. So like you can see the agony in the deer's body of like, you can see the blood, you can see everything, but he knows in order for something new to grow that's not going to weigh me down, I have to put myself in this discomfort, convenient stage to get into this new growth that is going to be my new antlers. Because if I don't break this, the new ones that are going to try to grow are going to make my head heavy, and I cannot operate with my head down, because I was too comfortable or too convenienced into not putting myself into an uncomfortable spot. And then think about the snake when it has to shed that old scales. It wedges itself between 2 very hard places, and those 2 hard things pull as he's moving forward. It's pulling the scales back, and it's like he doesn't go fast because he knows, well, I'm gonna have to go back because I missed some things. So he slowly moves forward as these things are pulling the old scales back. And it's like we are so cuffed to convenience that it makes our growth almost impossible to come forth, because we're like, yeah, but I know growth is uncomfortable, and I know healing is uncomfortable, but I can't handle this anymore. And it's like the legacy that you were talking about. I'm so big on that now of we all creating a legacy of something, but what do you want to be known for, right? There's this poem called The Dash that talks about we have a begin date and an end date. The dates don't matter. It's what you do in the dash is basically the premise of the poem, right? And when I read that, I was like, this is huge. I don't want like people to know me by the few words that are on my headstone. I don't want them to know me by, oh, she's a Leo because she was born August 4th. Okay. No, I want to be known for the work that I did in the dash. I want to die empty, meaning everything in me, I poured it and I gave it, and I didn't leave any stone unturned because of fear or convenience or the fact that it was like, yeah, well, I enjoyed my life. And it's like, yeah, my pastor's always saying, you never see a U-Haul at the end of a hearse. When you die, everything that you're working so hard to obtain, it stays here. So don't build a life to obtain the things. You are a person full of purpose and destiny and vision and insight and an answer. Be that answer and die empty, because what you do in the dash, it matters. So even if that means you have to be inconvenienced and uncomfortable, and I'm talking to myself now. Yes, Lord, I receive it. You know,
Come on. Me too. I'm like,
we doing a whole biopsy today, guys. We're in surgery. I'm sorry, but this is for all of us. This is the stages of healing.
Yeah, and it's so true. And you end up going in surgery, you end up getting cut up, and you end up saying, how much of my trauma is keeping me from doing and fulfilling my purpose? And how many people are allowing their trauma, what they went through? And it was legit, it was valid, right? We don't discredit anyone's trauma. You went through that. Are you still allowing it to stop you from doing your purpose, for you to fulfill what you're supposed to do, so that we can be empty? I love that. I heard that poem, the dash, like, yes, we have that beginning, we have that end. All that matters is what happened in between. Mm-hmm. Did we pour ourselves out? Like the Apostle Paul said, I'm a drink offering. I'm being poured out as a drink offering. I'm being poured out. He was spent. He died. He passed away. His towel was wrung dry. They wrung everything out. He was spent. He was ready because he poured out his life. And it's like our trauma stops us. And that's why we have to jump on those stages of healing. That's why we have to navigate through the tough conversations, the tough feelings, the uncomfortability. Oh, that doesn't feel good in my heart. That doesn't feel good to me. I don't want to think about that. I buried that for 10 years. I don't want to think about that.
So good.
But that is the key. Thinking about that and feeling that and acknowledging that. And like you said, coming back to our bodies and giving ourselves that permission, that allows us to then pursue not just our passions, but our purpose. And not just pursue them, but fill them and complete them. And okay, I've checked this off. And what else do I need to do? Like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking of someone like Tabitha Brown, right? Where
Auntie Tab.
Auntie Tab, it's just thing after thing. It's a book, it's a show, it's a this, it's a that. And it's like she talks about that, like when she really was able to acknowledge what she needed to do, and that you stop, the procrastination, and you stop abandoning yourself, and you stop self-sabotaging and all that. All those are trauma responses.
Oh, yeah.
So healing really helps you to go out and do what you need to do in the earth. It helps you to walk heavy when you acknowledge and say, okay, I'm feeling this, and I felt this, and I'm acknowledging that I went through this. How am I, again, transmuting this? How am I taking this that I went through, and how am I making this into not just, I need to write a book because I want to get profit. No, I need to release this so that if you're writing something so that I can read it and say, oh, she went through that, so did I, and I saw how she made it out, and I can make it out too, and all that. Like, we're supposed to be linked in that way. So many of us, we stay in our trauma, number one. But we also are not honest about what we've been through.
That's good.
For fear and shame and guilt and all that. And I'm like, Dad, if you had told me you went through that, I wouldn't have to stumble through it. You could have helped me.
Come on.
You could have helped me. So the reality is we need to be rehabilitated from trauma. Someone who was in prison or jail needs to be rehabilitated. You go to a halfway house. We need to be rehabilitated from trauma. And we need to go through the stages of healing to be rehabilitated from trauma, because you lose your life, right? When you're in jail, and I always use this example, if you go into jail in 1992 and you come out in 2002, my goodness, you the whole world has changed. Oh, you don't even know what's going on. So a big portion of your life stops. It's the same thing with trauma. You lose your life. You stay in active trauma, you lose 10, 15 years of your life. We need to be rehabilitated. And the way we can do that is to start the stages of healing and to navigate them with precision, not just halfway. I have one foot on, step in and feel uncomfortable, because on the other side of that uncomfortability is such a beautiful healing experience that no one can tell you about. We have to experience it ourselves to really feel it.
That's so good. Now, ironically, the guest that I had on for the first episode of the season, Tony, he talked about that exact process of going to jail 13 years later, coming out. And it's like, what is this? I don't know.
Where am I?
Technology's different. Cars are different.
Am I on Earth? Am I on Earth? Where?
Literally, he said he was walking down the street and couldn't gauge the time to step out to walk. And I said, that's a sermon right there, sir, if you want to do that. But like, he couldn't discern when it was time or when it was safe, because he couldn't, like, his whole being was like, it's been 13 years since I had to walk across of a street. Like, I don't know what this is. And it's so true that we have to be in a rehab, like an emotional, spiritual rehab that allows us to say, yeah, I've missed so much because I was surviving and I wasn't living. I don't have the skills to live. I know how to survive. I don't have the skills to live. I don't have the awareness of what it takes for me to navigate in this body, this world, with this new mind and this new heart and this new will and purpose. Like, I don't know how to do that, which usually goes to that like last step and that last stage of any type of stage of anything, is the acceptance. I now accept this after all of this gruesome anger and grief and depression and frustration and confusion and being lost. I now accept that all of this is for something. All of this wasn't to kill me. It wasn't to make me worse, but actually I've learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the people around me. I learned the purpose of boundaries. I've learned how to navigate this more appropriately so that I can walk out being healed and well and not have to deal with that fear of going back. Because if you rush through any process, you're going to probably have to revisit some things. Like I use the example of my ankle all the time. I never allowed my ankle to heal properly. So now it's like real loose. And I went to a doctor a few years ago and he said, in order for it to heal properly, we have to break it first so that it can be positioned back to healing and positioned correctly to heal in its proper place. And I said, well, I guess that's it. Some things have to break to realign.
My goodness.
Properly.
My goodness. My goodness. That is real. Some things have to break and we don't want to deal with that pain. I'm thinking, I've never broken any bones and I don't plan on breaking anything, right? I don't plan on it. It's not in my foreseeable future. But I'm thinking when you were just talking, I'm like, oh, when you feel that pain, you don't want to do it unless we experience that pain. We can never get the true healing.
Cannot.
Unless we feel that. Oh, it hurts. And I would rather feel physical pain than emotional pain any day of the week, any time of the year, any season. Because that physical pain, it's going to heal. Okay, cool. Well, here, hurt this, hurt that. It's going to heal. But that emotional pain, my goodness, it just keeps popping up sometimes. And you don't know when it's going to heal. And there's no schedule it can be on. Your doctor could give you a schedule of when that arm is going to reset, when that wrist is going to reset, when that finger is going to. But when it comes to our emotions and our feelings, there's no schedule. We're navigated and we're on their time. We're allowing it. We allow it to process, and that thing keeps coming up. We allow it to process again. Yeah. And we say, okay, you have your moment. And it's so interesting that we like to avoid that pain and not realizing like literally on the other side of that pain is what we've been looking for. And it's what's going to propel us into our future. And so I'm grateful for the pain that I felt with all the things that I've gone through, because it helped me to push toward that acceptance. I accept and I acknowledge what happened. Yeah. And I still feel the pain sometimes. It's not as painful, but I still feel it. But I'm grateful for that because it pushed me into my next and to me being the best version of myself.
So good. Yeah, that acceptance, it allows you to get to that mindset of, I have to hurt to heal. I will hurt to heal because it is, I understand it is now a part of my journey and forever is a part of my journey. I accept the fact that I have a lot of pain points and pain problems in my life that will continuously need to be healed. And I now accept that if this is the process of healing, okay, I understand its purpose now. And I think that's why in the Bible, when you get to the end of the book towards James, where he talks about count it all joy, right? It's like you can't understand the joy of the pain until you've gone through it and said, okay, that led me to here though. All of this wilderness that I enjoyed, it got me to the promised land. And now that I'm here, I know what not to do because I endured a thing before I got here. I was inconvenienced on every point. I lost some things were broken. But if I get to the understanding of why it has to happen that way, now I can count it all joy. Now I understand that all of this worketh patience, and patience when it is complete, now I know how to get there because I endured and accepted that this was a process. And so, Steph, I appreciate you coming. This was so good, girl. We need to do part 2 of my book.
Come on, let's do it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you so much. You know what I mean? There are a few people who I, consider my sister girls that I can just chop it up with on the spiritual level, the mental level, the emotional level, because we are a whole being and we have to talk about all 3 parts of our being. And if we neglect one, we need to talk about everything. And so I'm always grateful to be in conversation with you. Like I'm like always.
I appreciate you, girl. I'm so glad to have you. Congratulations on all the things that are happening in your world. And, I too agree. Like there's not a lot of people that you can connect yourself to in the field that we are in as healers, as anointed folk, but as humans, you can't just talk to anybody and expect to be heard and seen. So you are, of course, one of those people that has been a pillar, okay, in that position in my world.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Thank you for coming. I hope anything that was said today definitely resonates with somebody that is listening. And if you know someone that can benefit from understanding the stages of healing, please do share with them. And like I do at the end of every episode, I allow my guests, my I don't even know if you're a guest at this point, but to share a final word of encouragement when it comes to the topic. So if there was one last thing that you can say to anyone who is either on their journey of healing and is struggling, or is struggling to take that leap of faith and that step of courage to say, okay, I need to go. What saith you, Steph?
What saith I? Endure the pain. Endure the pain. It hurts. It's painful. You'll be thinking of past things that happened. Endure the pain and get to the finish line. And it's not an actual finish line because healing goes on and on. Get to your next. It's a series of finish lines. Get to your next finish line. Where would you like to see even next month that something's not triggering you again? Endure the pain and get to your next finish line. Jump over that hurdle, because the pain is nothing in comparison to the healing, and so that you can look and see and feel a situation and it not affect you in that same way. That is incomparable to any pain I've ever experienced. And so I would encourage you to endure the pain to get to the healing. It's worth it, and you're worth it. You're worth enduring to get to your next level of healing. So go on. We're pushing you. We're pushing you forward. You got us. We're the wind at your back. We got you. Keep going. Keep enduring to experience.
That's so good. That's so good. I hope y'all that resonated with me, Steph. So, I appreciate it, because Sissy Pooh over here hurting, man.
Girl,
but it is for a reason. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes. Do not click off, because as always, there is a lovely video that plays at the end with some announcements. I do have an event coming up on May 30th. All the information is out there. Go on the socials. It's there. Anyway, Steph, thank you so much. Guys, I hope you have an amazing week and weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope something that was said truly resonates with you. And if it does, please feel free to share it. Maybe there's some other episodes that you haven't seen, and I have a ton of them. And so you can go back and watch them. I make this video at the end of every episode because there's some announcements that are coming up, announcements that are mine and maybe other people's, because I'm all about healing and wellness for the community. All right, because I am an intergenerational healing clinician and advocate. So stay tuned. If you need me, you know where to find me, guys. All right, bye.